Welcome back to Hot Wheels Garage. So what we're finishing up the cable here on our last installation here. So we've cut the sheathing down. Now we're making the length of the cable. And what I've come to find the best way to do this is to start off with a preliminary cut on the actual cable of 35 inches. And what I mean by 35 inches is going from this end here 35 inches out to here to make a cut. Now that's not going to be the final cut, but there is a variation in these cables, and this is where I think we need to set the standard. So what I've done here is we've started off with the cable at 35 inches, and what I've done is I've taught my sample cable, and so the amount of throw I have when that end is all the way pulled tight, the amount of throw I've measured on this end of the cable from there to there is 3.15 inches. So it's 3.15 inches from here all the way to the end of the cable. That's our throw. 3.15 inches of throw of the cable. And this does not have to be super precise because, like I said, we could still take out some slack on this threaded rod. This is going to get us in the ballpark, and then we're going to do our fine adjustments with the nut. So with the different variations, what I found is this one's actually 3 inches. This threaded rod's 3 inches long. This one is actually 3 1/4 inches. So what the gospel we're going to use here for our precision, our close precision, and we're going to pull it all the way tight till it's locked in place. So we've slid the cable through. You've put your grommet on. So I just kind of reamed out the grommet a little bit, used a little WD-40, reamed out the grommet, slid the grommet on. Make sure it's facing the right way. One thing if you do decide to crimp this on, I don't know if it's really necessary to crimp these on. Like I said, from the factory, they're just not very tight. And you don't want to crimp too tight, because if you crimp too tight, it will drag the cable. And I actually did destroy one of these collars because I did crimp it too tight. I'm using, these are garage door cables. These are from the garage door guy. He has loaned me out his cable crimpers. These are for crimping the cables that they use on garage doors that hold hundreds of pounds of doors. So that's what we're using to crimp these connectors. So you don't want to crimp this too tight. And when you do crimp this, put your cable through, feel it, make sure there's no drag on here. Slowly crimp this so it's a snug fit. It's pretty tight. And so then what we're going to do, so once we have that crimped on, we have our grommet on, we're going to pull this till it's snug. And then from here, we want to measure 3.15 inches of length. And then what we will do next is take our clevis, install the clevis, and then what we are using to crimp with, these are 3/8 cable clamp stops. Like I said, these are meant for garage doors. They're able to hold a couple 100 pounds. We have not had any issue with these. We use these on Festival version 1.2 when we initially did the setup and tried it out. So we are just using, as you can see, it's just aluminum crimp cable. So you're going to take the lug, such, slide it over, just get it to the stop there, and then I'm going to use the crimps to go ahead and crimp that. Now when crimping this, they are aluminum lugs. I got these from Ace Hardware. Most hardware stores will have these. A couple ways you could crimp these. If you're in a pinch, you could probably use a vise to crimp it. You're only crimping one side when you're using the vise, so you're sandwiching it in there. They do make a tool that actually goes in the vise. I don't know how much, I think it was like 20, 30 bucks. And they had it at Ace Hardware in a package. You could buy it and it will go in the vise, and it allows you to put a nice round crimp around it. Like I said, this is a 3/8 cable. These are 3/8 slugs that we are using. I'm sorry, these are 1/8 inch lugs that we're using. So then we're going to crimp this on here, and that's pretty much a done cable right there. And like I said, once you put this in the car, you're going to reattach your clip reattach your clevis, bolt it all up. Once you have the clutch in the car, you'll use this to get your to set your tension on your pressure plate, and you're done. As far as the length of the cable, like I said, this is designed for my mounts, but this cable may be a little bit longer, so it doesn't really matter how long this cable is. It's just a matter of how much throw we're getting out of this cable is what actually matters. That's what makes it work. I mean, if the cable's too long, you can route it out of the way. It's all about how much throw we got here. Alright guys, so that's going to wrap it up. I'm going to go ahead and crimp this, and then I'll be one cable done, and then a couple more to go. Thanks.